This past weekend, my dad and I drove down to Blacksburg, Virginia to see the number 6 ranked team in the nation, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, take on the Virginia Tech Hokies. Our whole family supports the Irish. My dad is a Notre Dame alumni who graduated from there in 1988, and we've been loyal supporters for as long as I can remember. I've been to Notre Dame football games before, but none like this one. This one was different. When my dad asked me a few weeks ago if I wanted to go, I said of course, but I thought to myself, how many supporters of Notre Dame would be there? But then I remembered, Notre Dame has some of the most loyal and dedicated fans you'll ever meet. Notre Dame fans are known for commuting to games all across the nation, whether it be home or away. You can always count on Notre Dame fans to make the trip just to see the Irish play and show their support. In our case, we drove 4.5 hours there and back in just one day to see them play. We got back at 4:30 in the morning, tired and exhausted from our trip, but it was worth it. When we arrived, we walked around the campus for a while, and just as I expected, we encountered many Notre Dame fans along the way. It was like each fan we saw, we had an immediate connection with, as if we were telling ourselves in our head, yeah, we came all the way here just to support our team, the Irish. It was truly inspiring to see the turnout, and it told me that we could possibly turn the tide of the game. Us Notre Dame fans in a sea full of Virginia Tech Hokie fans. Our presence could give Notre Dame the extra push they needed to help them secure their win. Now here's the reason I say this game was different from ones I had been to in the past. The atmosphere in the stadium was incredible. The Hokie fans sure were psyched to have a top-ranked team come and play them on their own turf. And having it be a night game at the same time, what more could you wish for? Before the Hokies came out of the locker room, the whole stadium began to chant. As the game wore on, it was clear to see who was the more dominant team that night, as the Irish came away with the victory, beating the Hokies 45-23. The most memorable part of the game for me was what happened during the fourth quarter, and once the game was over. Once Notre Dame was ahead by a good amount, almost half the stadium began to leave, but I didn't see one Notre Dame fan leave early. This shows how dedicated we are, and shows no matter the score, we are in it till the end. As the Hokie fans exited, Irish fans stood and paid respect to the team that had just put up a hell of a fight and took the victory. Now earlier I mentioned that my dad went to Notre Dame, and as a diehard fan, who would be better to ask about the culture of football surrounding the Notre Dame Fighting Irish? What was the culture like surrounding Notre Dame football on campus as a student of Notre Dame?
The Notre Dame students were huge fans of the football team. We got excited about the games a couple days beforehand, so by midweek we were looking forward to the game. And I'll be honest with you, back when I was in South Bend, Indiana, there wasn't a whole lot else to do, so cheering for the football team was probably the most popular thing to do as a student at Notre Dame.
Why do you think Notre Dame fans travel so well to support the Fighting Irish?
Well, Notre Dame has a national following, so there are people across the country who are big fans. And whenever you meet somebody, they'll say, "Oh, I was a Notre Dame fan from when I was a kid." So since there are so many fans around the country, no matter where they go, the Fighting Irish always have tons of people show up for games, whether it's a bowl game or even an away game. Notre Dame fans will definitely travel to the game. Lots of people have been cheering on the Irish since they were kids, and so whenever they go to a different city or state, there are lots of folks around, and since they may not get a chance to actually travel to South Bend to see them, they'll definitely turn out when the Irish are in their area.
What does being considered a loyal Notre Dame fan mean to you?
If you're a loyal Notre Dame fan, you're going to cheer for the Irish, win or lose. You're dedicated and committed to the team, and you really live and breathe the team. So I know that when I was at Notre Dame, it was in my senior year, it was Lou Holtz's first year, and the Irish weren't actually that good, but boy, did we get behind them. And on a football Saturday, if the Notre Dame lost, this campus was dead afterwards. Of course, the next year, Notre Dame went on to win the national championship against West Virginia, but that was a long time ago, and we're hoping that Notre Dame's going to get back into the national championship hunt real soon.
What, in your opinion, was the most memorable part of our trip down to Blacksburg?
Well, there were so many. The trip was a great trip. The environment was amazing. The pregame Enter Sandman routine that the Hokies do was actually pretty scary. Everybody was jumping around, the stadium was shaking. As far as memorable moments, Notre Dame scored a defensive touchdown right before the half to take back the momentum. And then early in the second half, they broke free for a 96-yard touchdown run, which kind of broke the backs of the Hokies and gave Notre Dame the momentum they needed to pull away in the second half. I think one of the more memorable things, the most memorable thing really, was doing the trip with you, so we could go there and do that together. By the end of the game, we saw a great game. Notre Dame pulled away and kind of blew them out in the second half. But as all the Hokie fans emptied the stadium, all the Notre Dame fans stayed. You could hear them cheering, "Let's go Irish," other cheers. And then after the game was over, when the stadium was pretty empty at that point, the Notre Dame team came down to the corner of the end zone where the Notre Dame fans were, and they saluted the team. So everybody was sharing in the victory, lots of cheering. Overall, just a really awesome trip.
This experience has taught me so much more about Notre Dame football than I knew before, and it has given me a deeper look into the culture that gives our football team the strength it needs to keep winning games. My dad shared some good information as well, and thanks to him, hopefully he can help you understand just how big of a deal football really means to us Irish fans.